I am coming to you from a shaded area, a quiet area, where I can collect my thoughts and talk, share without interruption. This video is not about politics. This video is not about solar flares per se, although I'm sure I can find a way to fit that in. But this is just a relaxed video, a little bit of an update on what I've been doing. Somebody asked, what about all the off-the-grid videos? When are they going to be coming? Well, I still live off the grid, but I'm spending more time in the grid working for someone else, several other people, in fact. The restaurant is the additional gig that I added to my life, and this latest stretch, since my last couple of days off, I'm going to be working a total of 9 days. Now, this is a situation where I can burn out real quick. It's also a situation where I've been taking time to putting some additional effort to not smoking, to living a healthier lifestyle, getting up earlier in the day so I can get to sleep soon after work. The thing is, when you're working a night shift, for example, and you're under those fluorescent lights, whether it's a restaurant or a grocery store, I think that really has an effect on our sleep state. Obvious melatonin production. There's a direct link between the amount of light that we're getting and melatonin production. Too much light in the later hours could cause insomnia. Thinking about things like curtailing the amount of caffeine that I'm consuming before work and during work. And so it's a number of things dealing with complicated, rude personalities, which I'm just going to leave it at that. And swallowing my pride and swallowing my ego when someone talks to me like I'm stupid when it's really not necessary. Then, of course, there's the awkwardness of being around people. Not so much the customers. I have no problem with that. It's the kind of people that you work with when you're in the food service industry. So I see this as a means to an end. Getting my first paycheck recently, I can see really that I'm halfway there to at least affording all the building materials for a woodshed. And right now, the goal is several weeks from now, several weeks to a month, to begin construction on a woodshed on the property. I also make sure that I'm doing my posts at my associate's website, an additional source of income. So the YouTube aspect of my life is not exactly on the back burner, but it's not at the forefront. And it feels nice to not have it at the forefront, to do a relaxed video like this. I'll continue to do podcasts with Kyle and upload other videos of importance. I like the break from the land. I'll tell you what, I like going up on the land after a few days of working straight and feeling that connection with nature. Taking off my shoes. There's still a fair amount of landscaping that needs to be done to soften some of the stumps. But walking around barefoot, and sit in the RV, as well as what's preferable to get out of the RV and sit in the trees, sit in the shade, and do a little breathing, do a little bit of reading. It would also be nice to maybe get a tent. And yeah, there is the possibility of bears and mountain lions, but I feel in the end far more secure living in the place of my choosing. And I am very grateful to not be living in an urban environment. Find it kind of strange, the amount of people, though, that are obsessing on my journey, including where I'm at, instead of their own journey and where they're going. And following me up to some mountain isn't your solution. Some of you out there need to do some more soul searching and need to ask the universe for assistance with this. Because I could not have done this alone. I could not have had all these things, in my opinion, come into line at the same time. Something else greater than myself has helped co-create this reality. And all of you out there, and I'm still on the path, there's still things that I have yet to manifest. But in the end, I'm going to fulfill my dream, and you're going to witness that, of being financially self-sufficient, doing what it is that I do, through what I write, through the podcasts, through the videos, and as the years go on, I'll be sharing my content beyond the box of YouTube. And of course, this does include the conversation of bringing back OTP TV, not to reach or help all Portlanders, but to reach those with the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Because I am still warning Portlanders about the writing that I see on the wall, and I don't see other Portlanders, Clyde Lewis, Mike Smith, others. I don't see other Portlanders warning other Portlanders about anything at all. So I feel a sense of responsibility to keep discussing the things that I've discussed. Because there are more and more people waking up every day, and it's not about a collective wake up. I don't believe in that. I believe in continuing to reach the people that I can, and knowing what is possible, and letting synchronicity fill in the rest. So it's nice to take a break from the YouTube videos being at the forefront, going back to work. So during the peak of the day's temperatures, I'm not in the RV sweating. I'm actually working. And if I'm able to pay off the land payments sooner than the 4-year plan that I'm currently on, I will try to do that. And I may choose to go from the current job that's fairly demanding on a physical level in a work environment that's better than other work environments, but is also somewhat disorganized. I'm going to do what I can now to meet the objective that I set out to make, to earn enough for the building materials for a home. Once I reach that objective, everything is subject to change. Would I be willing to earn a little bit less at a job that's a little less of an insane asylum? Maybe a midnight stock job. There's a particular place that I'm thinking of. It'd also be nice to do video work. I don't know about videoing weddings, but video work in general in this area, something that's completely separate from my YouTube channel. It's something that I've given a great amount of thought. I even emailed the editor/owner of the local paper saying that, most of my life I've done stuff, op-ed material regarding world events on my YouTube channel, but I want to get my feet wet doing actual reporting, field reporting. Maybe getting footage from a crime scene or a fire or something. I'd like to be a video guy on call. And even though, a lot of people would reject me for me, the real me, let's look up this Alex Ansary. Does it stop me from trying? Does it stop me from imagining a world where there's more of me in it? Not just, what I do on my YouTube channel and the opinions, but where my services, where my abilities, editing otherwise, can be of use to someone. To expand my experiences, my life experiences and dealings with others. Expanding my work experiences beyond the service industrial complex. I'm all about that. And if I focus on it enough, I'm going to manifest it. The question is, what should we be manifesting or attempting to manifest or experience in our own lives? And how do we get there? These are things for each of us to ponder. What I can say is that I've spoken on behalf of others for well over a decade before I even found this spot that I'm living at. And I have a feeling that a lot of my challenges played a part in that. For someone else to think that they could just duplicate my experience is a fallacy. We each have our own experiences, and the world is a fairly large place. There are corners and cracks of freedom everywhere amongst the tyranny. And it's up to each of us to find out where those places are, where we can be left alone in peace. The question is, once we're left alone in peace, which many in this country already are, do we take it for granted and stay in our own little cocoon and start watching Netflix all day long and playing video games all day long and just entertain ourselves all day long? Or do we seek to keep the message alive? How many off-the-grid television programs are you subscribed to? Because I'd like to watch them. Please leave a link down below because I want to watch that show you're watching that's based off the grid. And I don't mean a show that's just about off-the-grid topics. I mean an off-grid show that's about global topics. Tell me what that show is. But the truth is, I don't think that you can. And I don't think that you will. Because there truly is a void. There are many people that are off-grid and literally living it up in palaces, if you will, that could be converted if they wanted to into a video production studio where they can have the peace of mind of nature and actually have that deeper connection to nature, which helps us focus, which helps me focus. To catapult that truth back into the grid, to inject that moment of clarity, that inspiration, that knowledge, those ideas. These are the things that I think about. All the years of content and documentary films that I will create off the grid, and not living in fear of someone coming to harm me, but allowing things to be as they are and letting the universe sort things out, regardless of those that laugh at the very Gnostic sayings and teachings that I echo, the same ones that have been in existence for eons and eons. I feel that even Sufi tradition within me and my ancestor within me, as well as knowledge from throughout the world. And I have greater faith in the Creator than man. The faith in the Creator is greater than the threat of the workings of man. In my life, I've seen it. And I can't turn my head away from the experiences that I have already had. Those very life experiences that have led me to the truth. And if I've been led to a certain place, see, a lot of the new viewers don't understand this about my philosophy when it comes to fear and how long I've been on the road. I see the comments and I shake my head. I shake my head at the ignorance. I shake my head at the fear. I shake my head at those individuals that fail to see how long I've been living with a sense of faith in the universe. Going back many, many years and traveling for many, many years without a firearm. Some people would laugh at that and call me an idiot. Yet in my opinion, those are the real cowards. Not someone that chooses to carry a firearm, but people that are in that ideology that if you don't run around armed all the time, that you will be raped, mugged, robbed, hurt, or other. And then, of course, when I got involved in the alternative media, people would say, if you're not on the list, you should be ashamed of yourself. Actually, people were saying that like Adam Kokesh followers a few years ago. But I've also heard, if they're not taking you out, or if they're not taking this person out, that person is a part of the Illuminati, of the intelligence agencies, and that's bullshit as well. I feel like what I'm doing is spearheading something new, off the grid media. In a day and age where people are living in fear of off the grid and fear of being murdered in general, if they were to speak out. You combine off the grid with combining that with the theme of speaking out. There's a lot of different fears that are coming up in people. And a lot of fears that people try to project onto me as if being a terrified person and backtracking on the courageous steps that I've taken in my life as if that's somehow going to help me. And so I realize that some of you are watching this channel because you're trying to evolve as a human being. And your job is not to try to influence me how to view reality or to become afraid. Your job as the student in this classroom, and you can unsubscribe at any point that you're offended, is to take the information that is relevant to you in your life and to leave the rest. As a viewer of this channel, you take the information that is relevant to your life and you leave what does not apply. I am not a leader, but I am a teacher. And so are some of you. Part of being human is to teach information and to utilize one of our greatest gifts that we've been given. And that would be the gift of communication. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm here to contemplate on and share with you on this warm Thursday afternoon, just a couple hours before I go back to work. As I work 9 days straight this week and next week, as I make the sacrifices that I need to in my own life to accomplish my own goals, and not letting the fear that people throw at me distract me from my focus. Focus that this time is very strong, very clear, and very precise. I will be back with more YouTube videos. Take what information is relevant in your own life and apply it. That's the advice I have for you. I'm Alex Ansari, signing off very late in July of 2016.